Evening, everybody, and welcome to a new vlog. Um, Today is kicking off the next week's vlog, and today is the 10th, I believe. It's Sunday, and I didn't really have anything to say, but I wanted to jump in here and just say hi. And also to add another book to my ever-growing bunch of books that I'm reading. I am buddy reading this with Sherry from Killing Time with Cozy's Discord, and it is The Picture of Dorian Gray by Oscar Wilde. And I'm going to be listening to this one on audio, I believe. And so we started it today, so I'm going to start it tonight because I haven't got into it yet. Hopefully I like it. She was saying that she's read like 3 chapters and he was kind of wordy, so hopefully I'm going to like it, and hopefully maybe doing it on audio, it'll be a little bit better maybe. So, we'll see. But yeah, just wanted to pop in and say hi, and catch you next time. Good morning, everybody. It's Monday the 11th, I believe. And I am super tired. We had some storms come through last night, tornado warnings, had to get up in the middle of the night and run to our shelter. And then I think my dad was groggy, and I think he thought he heard another tornado warning and got me up at like 4 o'clock in the morning to go down there, and nothing happened. I mean, it was just a lot of wind because I think it was pretty much over by then, and I think it was for a different county maybe, and he was sleepy, which, you know. So yeah, super tired. But I just thought I would come on and just update you a little bit. I have almost finished this one, What Lives in the Woods by Lindsay Curry. I am 77% into it, or 78%, somewhere around there. And so I'm really hoping to finish this one today. It depends on if I take a nap and don't do anything. I don't know. But yeah, I'm super tired. And so, yeah, I want to get this done. And then maybe work on some others, but I don't know exactly which ones. But basically, I just wanted to come in and say that I was almost finished. So it is Tuesday afternoon. I didn't come back yesterday to say anything because I was just really tired because of the storms that kept me up on Sunday night. And so I basically took a nap, and then I was really groggy, and I didn't really do a whole lot. But I did manage to do one thing, and that was finish What Lives in the Woods by Lindsay Curry. I was bound and determined yesterday to finish this because I didn't have a lot to go. And so I did manage that. I just didn't want to pop on and update everybody. I figured I could just do it today. So this was really good. It's a spooky middle grade. It did have a few little creepy moments in it that I think young readers would enjoy. It's about a young girl, and I can't remember her name, and I can't believe I can't remember it since I just finished it yesterday, but that's how it goes. And anyway, she is not exactly happy when her father tells her that they're going to be going and staying in this house for a month. She was excited to go to a writer's retreat type thing, like a lesson in how to write stories with her friend Erica. Oh, I can remember Erica, but I can't remember her. I don't know. And anyway, I know why it is. It's because it's in first person, and so they don't use her name very often, so therefore I don't remember what it is. It's just I. Anyway, so when they get there, she looks up about the place. It's called Woodmore, and she finds out that there's a lot of superstition around it and a lot of stuff about rumors about hauntings and things in the woods called the Hitchhikers, and just it's a really spooky place and nobody wants it, and it's kind of run down. They used to kind of use it for events, but nobody ever wants to use it. The townspeople don't even really care for it that much. So her father is like a restoration specialist, and he has been hired to go in and check it out and see what it is that they need to replace and update, and that way they can use it for like events and stuff, and kind of make it a historical place. But she is not happy about being there, and of course she gets to pick whatever room she wants, and she ends up picking this big one with this nice little sunroom, and she thinks it's pretty cool because she got the like best room. But then things start happening in that room, and so then therefore she's not really quite sure she enjoys that room anymore. And there are a lot of like kind of spooky things going on, and they seem to always happen with her. But then there were some other things that started happening, and at first she wanted to try to have proof that it's haunted, because she thought maybe she could get her parents to decide to go back home to Chicago so she could go to this writing thing with her friend. And but of course that doesn't happen, and there is another thing that happens, a little bit of a kind of a twist on what she decides that she wants to do. And I won't say anything. I would say the only thing I don't understand is why it was called What Lives in the Woods, because it's basically about a haunted house, and that seems a little misleading to me, but I don't know. I really like Lindsay Curry for a middle grade spooky author. I still think my favorite of hers that I've read so far is Scritch Scratch, which is the one that came out last year. But this one was still pretty good, and I enjoyed it. I give it 4 stars. And I think if you like spooky middle grade, then you should give it a try. If you have young readers that like spooky stuff, you should get it for them. That's the only thing I've finished so far this week. But I did make a little progress in The Picture of Dorian Gray. I'm 3 chapters in. It's a little wordy and it's a little boring. But I am still going. I'm hoping that I will end up liking it, but right now it's just kind of meh. But I haven't made any progress in this one, but I probably will read on this one tonight. I am 52% into The Last House on Needless Street by Catrona Ward, and I do not like it. It's too weird for me. It's just I don't know if it's the writing style or the narrator, because it's a book about, it's supposed to be a book about serial killers, or a serial killer. So hopefully that's how it's going to end up by the end of this book. But right now I'm in the I don't know, because I was using this for a carnival as a book that is like movies that you like to watch, like your favorite kind of horror movie. And I like slasher flicks, or like ones that involve like serial killers. So that's where I was going with this, and so I hope that's how it's going to be. But as right now, I'm not really sure what it's going to end up being. I just know I'm not a big fan of it. I don't like the cat's perspective. I don't like it. He's the cat. The cat is supposed to be a kind of like a Bible reading cat that doesn't like to use bad words, but likes to use the initial for the bad word. And so I'm getting tired of hearing GD this and GD that. Why do you just, if you don't like it, why not just not say it at all? Don't use the initials or anything, just don't say it. And so that's getting on my nerves. And yeah, I keep going because I'm gonna, Stephen King better not steer me wrong, because it says a true nerve shredder that keeps its mind-blowing secret to the very end. Okay, so if it doesn't blow my mind at the very end, I'm going to be very mad at Stephen King. Stay tuned. You'll find out if I'm really mad at his blurb there. Because I know a lot of people says that it is really confusing and everything, and then the ending, it's just like, boom. I just don't like books like that. I don't like to be confused up until the very end, and then all of a sudden it all comes together, and I'm like, oh, yeah, it still doesn't get a good rating from me when it does that. I don't like that kind of thing. Right now, this is really down on, I don't like it. But because this is how I roll, I finished one ebook that I didn't have like an audio or anything for, that I'm just kind of following along. So I'm going to add in Mine by Delilah S. Dawson. It's another spooky middle grade book. I mean, look at that cover. If that's not a creepy cover, I don't know what is. Have no clue what it's about. I just know I'm using this one for a spooky cover. I think that's what I needed it for the All Hallow Eve Carnival challenge that I'm doing. So yeah, going to use that. Haven't even started it yet, but I'm going to be starting this in a little bit. So I just thought I'd let you know. I have made a little progress in The Invisible Life of Addie Larue by V.E. Schwab, and I still don't understand what the hype is. On this version, which is a large print, I finally made it to part 3, and of course that doesn't have a page number, because why would that have a page number? Okay, so I am 290 pages into it, and it has 700 and some pages on this one, but like I can't remember. I think I'm like 30% or something on the audio. But if it wasn't if it wasn't for the audiobook, I probably would not make it through this. It's also for another challenge on the Carnival challenge, so I am trying to make it through, and I am buddy reading it with my friend Barb. And yeah, it's boring and nothing's happening, but you know, maybe something will happen. Anyway, that's pretty much all I've got to say, and I've rambled on for enough time, so I'm going to say goodbye. Welcome to Wednesday, and I don't know if you can hear it, but it is raining. We're in kind of the middle of a storm. It could get kind of nasty, but hopefully it's just going to be some heavy rains and maybe a little wind. They said it shouldn't be too severe, so hopefully it's just going to be a nice little rain and not be too bad. Minus, if I think I took good enough pictures, I tried to show some of the rain earlier. But yeah, this is how it's supposed to be all day. So today is going to be one of those dreary kind of, I'm not going to want to do much anything but read kind of day. We'll see. But anyway, I thought I'd catch you up on my reading. So I read a little bit on Relic last night, and I have 126 pages left, getting pretty close to the end. I'm really enjoying this. It's really gotten into the good action-y creature running around in the museum, and there's all these people, and their security system's not working right, and people are panicking, and yeah. I read a little bit more of The Picture of Dorian Gray. I'm on chapter 7 now, and I've got like this much more to go. This up here is short story collections of Oscar Wilde. So this part here is The Picture of Dorian Gray. So doesn't look quite as bad whenever I split it off and show you how much I have compared to the other. It's still kind of I really don't like Lord Henry. I think he's kind of a jerk, and he doesn't seem to like many people, or you can definitely tell he doesn't like women or the poor, or and so I don't know if that's Oscar Wilde's take on things, but yeah, I really don't like him. And I think he's leading Dorian Gray astray. But I also think Dorian Gray is a little bit vain, and he's a little bit too attached to his looks. The Invisible Life of Addie Larue by V.E. Schwab made it to the halfway mark. I am actually 51% into this, I believe. I think I made it to to part 4. It's in like these sections, and I'm on 403 out of 700. Is it 779? But yeah, I still don't understand the hype. It's okay, but I'm not loving it like a lot of people have. But you know, I knew it wasn't my kind of read. I knew it. Even though everybody was loving it, I knew I probably wasn't going to care, and I was right. I've made just a little bit of progress on Mine by Delilah S. Dawson. I have a feeling this is going to be another haunted house story. Coming off of just reading a haunted house story with What Lives in the Woods, hopefully this is going to be different and it's not going to be too similar to the one I just read. But yeah, I'm only on chapter 2, like I'm 6% into it, so I haven't really got a good feel of it yet, but it's okay so far. Yeah, that's pretty much all I've read so far. I didn't make any progress on the house in Needless Street. I know I need to, and I'll probably read a little bit more of it today. The ones that I'm not really caring for, I'm thinking like if I can just make a little bit of progress every day in them, then I'm doing good. So yeah. So I think I may snuggle up in my blanket here with my baby dog. I guess I'm reading done. It's Friday afternoon around 2ish, and I just thought I would come in. I haven't did very many updates this week, sorry. It's been really dreary and kind of just rainy, and I get moody when it gets to that kind of stuff. I'm just not I like fall because of spooky stuff. I hate fall because it starts to get darker early, it gets colder, I get moody and stuff. I am like one of those that do not like cold weather at all. So I'm miserable like all through the winter. I'm counting down the days, and I kid you not, from when winter solstice happens till like spring, because I know that after winter solstice, we start gaining back time. And I'm waiting for it to get lighter and lighter and lighter out. I hate when it gets dark early. I mean, you can't do anything. You can't, I mean, you go outside at 5 o'clock and it's dark. So there's like nothing to do. It gets dark in here. Look out, it makes me tired. I don't like it. Okay, enough about me ranting about not liking the weather. I mean, like it's 55 degrees today. I'm cold. But I decided to come up on here because I needed to give you an update because I have read some things. Lots of things. So I finished Marshmallow Malice by Amanda Flowers, and I probably didn't even talk about it this week. It's one of those that slipped in, and I just decided to listen to it. And I finished it probably like in a day and a half or something like that. And so I finished it, and it's for the Wonkathon. It's I had it down for title for chocolate, and it did talk about chocolate, so I'm good there. There were chocolate covered marshmallows, there were chocolate covered strawberries, all them kind of things. So chocolate, I got it. So I was glad. I figured it would probably mention chocolate, but I wasn't sure. Then I finished Relic by Douglas Preston and Lincoln Child. This is the first book in the Pendergrass series, and I definitely will be continuing this series. Absolutely loved it. Gave it 5 stars. So good. I was going to like just read it a little bit as I went along the month, because I was buddy reading this with Breezy Ann. She's read it before, so she was like, if you get into it, just go ahead. So I did. And yeah, once I got to the like the last part here, I had to figure out what was going on. It was so fast paced. Then I have The Last House on Needless Street by Catrona Ward. Wasn't a fan. I'm kind of like on the fence of like 2.5, 3 stars. Probably 2.5, but if I put it on Goodreads, I'll probably give it 3 stars. The ending probably is the only reason why I would like give it 3 stars, because there were some things that happened that I didn't guess that I thought, okay, but for the most part I kind of had it pegged on what was going on. But it's told in like 3 different POVs. You've got Ted, who he's just kind of strange, and he lives in this house on Needless Street with his teenage daughter, and her name is Lauren, and you get her a little bit, but you don't get a whole lot. And then you've got a perspective from Olivia the cat, who I just didn't like it. That was just too strange for me. I mean, this whole book was just too strange for me. There are just some things that I just don't care for, and animal POVs, it really depends for me. And it might have been okay, but she was supposed to be a Bible reading cat, and so she's like always talking about the Bible and things like that. But she didn't want to say a bad word, so the cat would say GD. And to me, I mean, you're still saying the bad word, so just don't say it at all. And I don't know, every time she would say that with initials, it just got on my nerves. And so, yeah, I just didn't like how, maybe if the cat didn't have that, it was just a cat, it might have been okay. Sometimes she was kind of funny, but yeah. And then the other character is Dee, who is, you get a little bit of her background at the beginning, and then she comes into play, and she's a neighbor that moves in next to Ted, and there is a reason why she moved next door to Ted. And pretty much that's all I can say, because if I was to say anything else, it would spoil it for anybody who might want to try it. Just because I didn't like it doesn't mean other people won't like it, because I know a lot of people in my horror group, they really like it. So, it's just me. I think my friend Barb might like it. She likes weird things, and so I told her that she might like it. I think she'll like it more than I would. Especially once it wraps up and you figure out what's going on, because you're confused through the whole thing until like the last like 20%, and things start wrapping up and you start figuring out what exactly is going on. But yeah, it just wasn't for me. And I think that's pretty much it. This was kind of a windy update, but I had so much to talk about because I haven't been on here very much this week. My bad. Anyway, just about time to get ready and go downstairs and get something quick going, because I've got lives tonight on Lee from Dark Roots Creations channel, so I want to make sure that I get up here in time, so I always go down and cook supper a little bit earlier. So I'm about to do that, and maybe read a little bit on mine, because I really need. So it's Saturday evening, and I've decided to come in and just go ahead and wrap up the vlog. That way I can start working on it and maybe get it posted tomorrow. So I just wanted to kind of recap what I finished and what I'm working on and all that kind of stuff. And hopefully I won't be too long-winded. So the first thing that I finished this week was What Lives in the Woods by Lindsay Curry. This one is a middle grade spooky, and it was really cute. I liked it. The only thing I thought was, I think the title's a little misleading, because it all happens in, I mean, the woods are spooky, and there is like supposed to be a legend about like these hitchhikers, but basically it's about a haunted house and stuff like that. And it's kind of a mystery, because Jenny has to figure out why the hauntings is there? Why are they kind of picking on her? And all that kind of stuff. And I really liked how it was resolved and the end. I thought it was really cute, and I gave it 4 stars. Then the next book I finished was Relic, which was my favorite of the week, and probably pretty high up on my favorites for the year. And this one is by Douglas Preston and Lincoln Child, and it's the first book in the Pendergrass series. And yeah, it was really good. It's kind of like a horror slash crime kind of thriller type book, and it is about this museum, and there is some crates that they had gotten for an exhibit. It's a superstition exhibit, and there had been some things, I guess, some strange things going on previously in the museum, but the directors and all that kind of kept it like hush hush. And well, when two, like I think it was like a teenager and his brother, younger brother, like break in and sneak into the basement of the museum, whatever is in there gets a hold of them, and so they find them, and they've kind of been like ripped apart, and so they call in Lieutenant De Acosta, and then somebody else dies, and then they bring in FBI agent Pendergrass, and it was just so fast paced. They're trying to figure out what's going on before somebody else gets hurt. The directors and all that stuff that are running the museum and wanting the exhibit to keep going, they don't want to stop from doing that. They want to just keep going. They don't care, it seems like, about if anybody else gets hurt. They just want their exhibit to happen. And Margot is one of the people that works there who's trying to figure out what's going on along with everybody else. And it's kind of a race to try to figure it out. And then it just builds up until they have the exhibit thing, and then a lot of stuff happens, and it was just really good. I really like fast-paced books, and this one definitely was fast-paced, and I loved it. 5 stars. Because I loved it so much, I went and got the second book, even though it's not on my TBR. The next book I finished was Marshmallow Malice by Amanda Flowers, and this one was part of Wonkathon, and so was the Relic was part of Wonkathon. What Lived in the Woods was part of my All's Hallow Eve Carnival. But Marshmallow Malice is by Amanda Flowers is the 5th book in the Amish Candy Shop series. And this one is about Juliet and the Reverend are finally going to get married. And this lady comes in when they're in the middle of getting married and starts spouting off that I can't remember, like he betrayed her trust or he did something, I can't remember. And she was drunk. They ushered her out. They go ahead and get married. Like Juliet doesn't really question anything. But Bailey's thinking, like, I would have questioned some things, and I wonder, what's going on. And then she ends up finding that lady later on. She is dead on the doorsteps of the church. And so she's really hoping that it wasn't, the Reverend didn't have anything to do with this, or that anything like that, or it wasn't connected that much to the Reverend and stuff. And so she decides to investigate, even though Aiden is investigating, because he is the detective. And all that kind of stuff. And Juliet wasn't quite as bad in this one, with the whole pushing them together, trying to make them sound like they're getting married as much as in previous books, but she still did it a little bit. It was annoying. But yeah, and I love Jethro. He's just so cute. Oh, 4 stars. Then I read The Last House on Needless Street, and this one just wasn't all that great for me. I don't like it when I'm kind of bored and confused through most of the book, and then the end it wraps up, and then you're like, oh, that's what it's all about. Just not really that kind of. I don't like that kind of book. I know a lot of people do, and a lot of people really enjoy this book. I think my friend might enjoy this one more than me, because we're both reading it, and yeah. I just didn't like it that much. It's hard to explain without spoiling, so I'm just going to say that I gave it 2.5, 3 stars. If it's a 3, it'd be a really low 3, but I probably might give it 3 stars. I don't know. I haven't decided yet. I just haven't decided. But yeah, I didn't like it that well. Then I finished The Picture of Dorian Gray by Oscar Wilde. I had high expectations for this, and I think they were too high because I really enjoyed The Importance of Being Earnest by the author, and that's his comic, kind of thing. This was more serious in tone, and I didn't like it. Dorian Gray, I mean, he's very vain, and I mean, it, and it's a byproduct of its time too, because there's a lot of like you can tell that either the author just really didn't like women, or he just wanted his characters to not really like women, because I did not like Sir Henry. He made me so mad. He was really bad, and he leads Dorian astray a bit. I liked Basil, the artist who drew the picture of Dorian Gray, and I really liked him. But yeah, he's the only character that I liked out of the whole thing. I didn't like Dorian. He got once he found out that the wish he made is coming true on his picture, he just really gets out there and thinks that, he can just do whatever and his picture is going to age and he's not going to, and all that stuff. And yeah, he just gets worse and worse and worse. I didn't like it. It was kind of slow and boring and very wordy. And the ending, though, was a lot different than I thought it was going to be, I must say. I didn't expect that kind of an ending, but yeah, 2 stars probably. I believe that was everything that I read this week, and stuff that I am still working on. I'm still working on The Invisible Life of Addie Larue. Still working on Mine by Delilah S. Dawson. I'm 44% into this, so hopefully I'll get this one finished coming up next. Blister Just Strand, I am 53% into this one, so yeah, this one's getting done this week too. I just want to get it done and out of the way. I'm not really enjoying it. It's not horror like I want it to be. I don't know. It's just not what I want. I started A Spell for Trouble today. So I've added this into everything, and already close to being like halfway done with this or more. It's really short. It's the book that I'm using for the fall Halloween prompt for Killing Time with Cozy Scavenger Hunt prompts. This is A Spell for Trouble by Leanna Dobbs, and it's paranormal cozy, and it's got all kinds of paranormal stuff in it. There's werewolves, and then there's the witches, and there's a paranormal investigation team, and you got your talking animals because they're familiars and all that kind of stuff. All that jazz. I changed up one of my books. I was gonna do Purple on the Cover. I was gonna do Borrow the Night by Elizabeth Peters. I listened to some of it and I just wasn't into it. It's not that I don't want to read it. I wasn't feeling it. So I decided I didn't want to just make myself listen to it and not pay that much attention to it because I wasn't into it. So I'm going to read The Big Four by Agatha Christie. Now, this is a book that I have, but it doesn't have purple on the cover, but I'm listening to it on audiobook, and I'll show you the picture here. And the audiobook version has purple on the cover, so I'm going to follow along in the book and listen to the one with the purple on the cover. And as soon as I get done with one of these, which it'll probably be A Spell for Trouble, will probably be the one that I get done, because I'm listening to the audiobook of it, because it's Kindle Unlimited and it came with audio. And so I'm listening to it, and I think I have like an hour and 30 minutes left, so it'll be the first one that gets done during the week, and then I'm going to add the audiobook for Discovery of Witches so that I can get started on this one. I've read this one before. I've actually read this one twice already. I've listened to it once, like when it first came out. Then I did a buddy read of the series with my friend in like 2019, and I read it, and now I'm going to listen to it again with a group on Killing Time with Cozy Discord. I think that's everything. So, yeah, I read a lot. I have a lot still reading, and now you see how I read my books. It's kind of chaotic. I read one book and one comes back in. I always have multiple books going. All that. Probably didn't have a whole lot going on this week, so I hope it wasn't too like meh. But, you know, it is what it is. That's my life. It is what it is. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.